Hello Army, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am so glad you found this video today, because what we are about to break down is genuinely one of the most significant stories in the intersection of K-pop and global fashion that has ever been reported, and it just happened in the last 24 hours. This is not a rumor. This is not a fan analysis. This is not a social media trend or a viral moment that blew up and then faded away. This is a statement made by the chief executive officer of one of the largest fashion corporations on the planet, during an official earnings conference call, in front of investors and financial analysts and the entire business media world. And what that CEO said, in precise and unambiguous language, is that what Jungkook did with Calvin Klein is the biggest collaboration in the brand's entire history. Not the biggest K-pop collaboration. Not the biggest Asian market collaboration. The biggest collaboration. Full stop. In 58 years of Calvin Klein. And we are going to understand exactly what that means, how it happened, and why number by number, decision by decision, moment by moment, from the very beginning of this partnership to the press release that landed 24 hours ago and sent the entire ARMY community, the entire fashion industry, and the entire K-pop world into a collective state of disbelief. Let's begin with the official statement, because I want you to hear it clearly before we unpack anything else. PVH Corporation CEO Stefan Larsson officially stated during a recent first-quarter earnings conference call that CKJK is Calvin Klein's best collaboration in history. He explained that it achieved unprecedented global demand, an astonishing level of fan engagement, and rapid sellouts across all regions. There are three phrases in that statement that deserve individual attention. Unprecedented global demand. Astonishing fan engagement. Rapid sellouts across all regions. Not some regions. Not specific markets. All regions. Every part of the world where Calvin Klein operates saw rapid sellouts from this collaboration. And a publicly traded company's CEO made that statement on an earnings call, a context where every word is measured, every claim is accountable to shareholders, and nothing is said for fan service or publicity purposes. Stefan Larsson said CKJK is the biggest collaboration in Calvin Klein's history because the financial data told him so. And now we are going to look at exactly what that data looks like. Jungkook for Calvin Klein became the brand's most successful collaboration to date, generating unprecedented global demand, next-level engagement, and rapid sell-through across every region. In Asia, consumers drove near-complete sell-through on Tmall in China, while North America and EMEA e-commerce sites sold out of capsule styles. Let's break those numbers down individually, because each one tells a specific story. On China's Tmall, a 99% sell-through rate was recorded, and pop-up stores in Los Angeles and Harajuku also sold out. Additionally, outerwear worn by Jungkook achieved a 60% sell-through rate within 2 weeks of launch, and sales of CKJK-related products surged by more than 50% following the campaign. A 99% sell-through rate on Tmall in China. For context, Tmall is the largest business-to-consumer e-commerce platform in China, operated by Alibaba. It is the platform where major luxury and fashion brands conduct the overwhelming majority of their Chinese market sales. A 99% sell-through rate means that virtually every single item listed on the platform sold. Not most items. Not the popular ones. Essentially all of them. That is not a performance. That is a phenomenon. That is a market responding to something with a completeness and a speed that defies normal consumer behavior patterns. And then there is the outerwear figure, 60% sell-through within 2 weeks of launch. For reference, fashion industry analysts typically consider anything above 70% sell-through at the end of a full retail season to be a strong performance. CKJK achieved 60% on outerwear alone within 14 days of the collection hitting stores. And then the overall 50% surge in CKJK-related product sales following the campaign, again, not a seasonal number, not a quarterly figure, but a response to a single collaboration drop that lifted the entire category by more than half. And then there is what happened in the first 30 minutes after the collection went live online. The limited edition collection experienced a massive surge in traffic, leading to primary items selling out globally within 30 minutes of going live on the brand's official website. The website faced a rapid wave of buyers that quickly overwhelmed servers worldwide. Key statement pieces, including the highly anticipated leather racer jacket, relaxed hoodies, baby tees, and 90s vintage-inspired denim trucker jackets were marked as sold out. The Calvin Klein website crashed. Not slowed down. Crashed. Under the simultaneous pressure of hundreds of thousands of buyers hitting the storefront at exactly the same moment, the servers went down. And in the immediate aftermath, as fans who had successfully placed orders shared their confirmation screenshots and fans who had been locked out by the server crash expressed their frustration, the hashtags CKJK and JUNGKOKXCLVNKLAN dominated trending charts on X simultaneously across multiple countries. Within 30 minutes of launch, the collection was effectively gone. And Calvin Klein's digital infrastructure was rebuilding itself. Now let's step back and understand how we arrived at this moment. Because the CKJK collection did not emerge from nowhere. It is the culmination of a partnership between Jungkook and Calvin Klein that began in March 2023, when Jungkook became the brand's global ambassador, and that has been building, compounding, generating evidence of its impact, and deepening its creative ambitions with every single phase. Jungkook's relationship with Calvin Klein began in March 2023 when he became the brand's global ambassador, starring in major denim and underwear campaigns throughout 2024 to 2025. His previous appearances across Calvin Klein Spring 2026 collections demonstrated both commercial impact and deep cultural resonance with Gen Z audiences worldwide. The announcement of Jungkook as Calvin Klein's global ambassador in March 2023 was itself a moment that rippled through both the fashion world and the K-pop world simultaneously. Calvin Klein is not a brand that assigns its global ambassadorship casually. The brand's history of ambassador choices, from Brooke Shields to Kate Moss to Justin Bieber to Kendall Jenner, reflects a consistent philosophy of selecting individuals who embody something essential about the cultural moment, who bring not just popularity but a specific kind of cultural energy that aligns with what Calvin Klein represents. When they chose Jungkook, they were making a statement about where they saw the future of global fashion influence heading. And everything that followed, the campaign images, the underwear ads, the denim collections, the runway appearances, the brand events, all of it proved that the statement was correct. But the CKJK collection marks something categorically different from everything that came before it. This drop marks a significant milestone as the first time an idol has directly participated in the design process in Calvin Klein's history, moving past standard brand ambassadorship. This is the distinction that transforms the CKJK story from a great brand partnership into a historic one. Jungkook did not just wear Calvin Klein. He designed with Calvin Klein. He was in the creative process from the beginning, shaping the direction, the aesthetic, the specific design choices that made each piece distinctly his. The capsule reimagines Calvin Klein's brand-defining essentials through the lens of Jungkook's personal style, merging the brand's distinct design language with his rebellious edge. And Jungkook himself described his approach to the collaboration with a level of intentionality and creative ownership that went far beyond what you typically hear from celebrity design partnerships. Said Jungkook, "Partnering with Calvin Klein over the past few years has given me the opportunity to express myself through the brand's iconic style, and it's been exciting to work with Calvin Klein in this more personal, creative way. As my first fashion collaboration, I wanted to fully immerse myself in the process, leveraging Calvin Klein's design expertise to leave my mark on every piece." Leave my mark on every piece. That is not the language of someone who chose a few styles from an existing collection and put their name on them. That is the language of a designer. Of someone who understood that a collaboration of this scale demanded genuine creative investment, and who showed up for that investment completely. Authenticity anchored the campaign, with Jungkook's perspective shaping both the creative direction and the design process. The collection was inspired by his love of motorcycles, a personal passion that gave the entire aesthetic a thematic coherence that prevented it from feeling like a generic celebrity drop. The aesthetic heavily features the singer's personal style preferences, spotlighting edgy, biker-inspired silhouettes, graphic details referencing his birth year, 97, and patterns reminiscent of his distinct arm tattoos. All garments feature a newly designed, co-branded logo stamp reading CKJK EST 2026. A co-branded logo. Calvin Klein changed its logo for this collaboration. Not adapted it, not added to it, created a new co-branded version that places Jungkook's identity on the same visual level as the Calvin Klein brand identity itself. That is an extraordinary statement of creative partnership. And when fans on social media pointed this out, that Calvin Klein had literally changed its logo for Jungkook, the reaction captured something real about what this collaboration represents. The physical rollout of the CKJK collection was itself unprecedented in scale. Jungkook for Calvin Klein bespoke retail pop-ups in Los Angeles, Singapore, Thailand, Sydney, Melbourne, Taiwan, Malaysia, Shenzhen, Chongqing and Shanghai further brought consumers into the world of the collaboration, with retail prices ranging from $29 to $699. Limited edition men's and women's underwear styles were available exclusively at Calvin Klein's Harajuku, Soho and Champs Elysees flagship stores. 11 pop-up locations simultaneously across 3 continents. Exclusive items at 3 of the most iconic flagship retail addresses in the world, Harajuku in Tokyo, Soho in New York, Champs Elysees in Paris. And at every single one of these locations, the story was the same: queues forming hours before opening, sellouts happening faster than stock could be replenished, consumers describing the experience of trying to get CKJK pieces as one of the most competitive retail moments they had ever participated in. Paul Panitz, retail director and general manager for PVH Corporation, covering the Germany, Austria, and Switzerland markets, posted about what happened in Europe on the day of the launch. The excitement, he wrote, started long before the doors opened. Already 1 hour before opening, a long queue had formed outside the store, with fans waiting eagerly to be part of the launch moment. Within just a few hours, they achieved a record-breaking result. The collection sold out across key international locations including Paris, London, and Dusseldorf by the end of that first day. And his conclusion perfectly captures what made this collaboration different from anything Calvin Klein had attempted before. It was a powerful reminder of what happens when strong brand heat, cultural relevance, great product, and passionate store teams come together. Calvin Klein Global Brand President David Satman said, "This collaboration brings together 2 cultural forces at full power, combining the unmistakable influence of Jungkook with Calvin Klein's iconic brand codes to create something with real impact." Through Jungkook's lens, we're able to express a more personal side of the partnership, inspired by his individuality and passion for motorcycles, all interpreted through the Calvin Klein aesthetic. Together, we are reimagining our icons for today in a way that feels authentic, culturally resonant, and globally compelling. 2 cultural forces at full power. That is Calvin Klein's brand president describing what happens when you combine a 58-year-old American fashion brand with the golden magne of BTS. Not one force elevated by the other. 2 forces operating simultaneously at maximum capacity. And the results confirmed that assessment in numbers that the CEO subsequently presented on an earnings call to the investment community. PVH Corporation on June 24 re-examined the significance of the collaboration by publishing an article titled 5 Things You Need to Know About CKJK on its official website. A corporation publishing an article specifically to call attention to a collaboration it has already completed and is still talking about weeks later, that is not standard corporate communications behavior. That is a company saying, "We want the world to understand what just happened here, because what just happened here is historic and we want it documented." And then the following day, June 25, came the CEO's statement on the earnings call. CKJK is Calvin Klein's best collaboration in history. The documentation was complete. The Tokyo dimension of this story also deserves specific attention, because it adds a layer to the narrative that goes beyond pure commercial performance. The excitement continued in Tokyo, where Jungkook himself made an appearance at the brand's Harajuku flagship store to celebrate the partnership alongside friends of the brand, including fellow K-pop star Mingyu. Jungkook physically appeared at the Harajuku flagship. In person. And the resulting scene at the store, the fans, the atmosphere of that moment in one of the most fashion-forward neighborhoods in one of the most fashion-aware cities in the world, was captured and shared across social media in real time, adding an experiential dimension to the launch that digital campaigns alone cannot create. The presence of Mingyu of 17 alongside him turned the moment into a cross-fandom event, bringing 2 of the most significant fan-base communities in K-pop together around a shared experience of Jungkook's first fashion collaboration. And all of this exists within the context of what Jungkook was already doing in 2026, which is performing with BTS on the Arirang World Tour, the largest world tour in Korean music history, while simultaneously having broken every record imaginable with his solo work and now with CKJK. The timing of the PVH CEO's statement, coming in June, in the middle of BTS's world tour, during the period of BTS's highest global visibility since their comeback, means that the collaboration's commercial triumph is being announced to a world that is already watching Jungkook more closely than it has watched almost any artist in recent memory. Every piece of evidence about the scale of his impact accumulates on top of all the other evidence. The world tour's sellouts. The Erarang chart records. The Rolling Stone cover story. The K-Media declarations of God of the stage. And now, the CEO of PVH Corp on an earnings call confirming that what Jungkook did with Calvin Klein is the biggest collaboration in the brand's 58-year history. Market context positions celebrity capsule collections at 8 to 12% of quarterly direct-to-consumer revenue for major American brands. Jungkook's collaboration leverages the BTS global fanbase estimated at 20+ million engaged followers, generating anticipated demand that may exceed comparable collaborations from previous years. International shipping to 45+ countries indicates Calvin Klein confidence in reaching globally distributed fandom. That final detail, international shipping to 45 countries, is worth dwelling on. Calvin Klein designed the logistics of this launch around the expectation that buyers would be coming from everywhere. Not from the major fashion markets. Everywhere. And the results confirmed that expectation completely. The phrase that PVH Corporation itself used in their official communications, the Jungkook effect is real, is the right phrase. Not the BTS effect. Not the K-pop effect. The Jungkook effect. Specific, personal, irreducible to a category or a trend. Something about this specific 28-year-old from Busan, who grew up loving motorcycles and art and music and who spent a decade becoming one of the most technically accomplished and emotionally compelling performers in the world, something about that specific person, applied to a fashion collaboration with genuine creative investment and authentic personal expression, produced results that a brand with 58 years of history had never seen before. Not with any of the previous collaborators. Not in any previous campaign. Not in any previous era of the brand's global expansion. Calvin Klein made history. And Jungkook was the reason. The CEO said so. On an earnings call. In front of the investors. With the numbers to back it up. Army, we always knew. The world is still learning. And the lesson is going very, very well. If this story gave you the full picture of what CKJK actually accomplished, not just the excitement of the launch moment but the scale and significance of what was confirmed this week, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel so you never miss a story like this, and drop a comment below. What was your favorite detail from the CKJK collaboration? Did you manage to get a piece before it sold out? And which part of these numbers surprised you the most? I read every single comment. And I will see you in the next one. Purple Heart.